ओम आप्यायन्तु ममांगानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मा ते मयि संतु ओम शांति शांति शांति. We have been studying Kenopanishad of the Samaveda with Shankara's commentary, and in the second mantra of the first part we had read the commentary, but last paragraph of the commentary we have to read again. So we have to read that para. So the context was the Shishya, disciple has asked, directed by whom, directed by whose desire my mind goes to its objects, directed by whom my first pran, that is my breathing, appears to be yoked to a machine, directed by whom, yoked by whom, the speech of mind speaks, words, my eyes and ears. Wow. Why here means and or both. Which conscious entity directs all these was the question. And from that we had understood that the disciple is in such a position of the mind that he is aware that there he is present, his instrumentality is present, and this instrumentality is all achetan, they cannot act by themselves, and there is some chetan quantity due to which all these things are happening. And he wants to catch that, realize that. That is the meaning of the question. So, we find that in the second mantra, Guru understood that he is a fit disciple. And so he replies, he practically pushes him more inside. The Shishya has gone quite a bit inside. He has transcended the ordinary field of work. And so he is capable of going further inside. And so the Acharya tells him, he is the ear of your ear. He is the mind of your mind. He is the speech of your speech. He is the prana of the prana. He is the eye of the eye. And when you know this, then you will transcend the ordinary, not only indriya perception, but the reasoning built upon that also. And when you have transcended all these, naturally you have transcended the sphere of experience called loka, and you have become immortal, both in the non-dying sense and in absolute eternal happiness. Now, when we were reading the commentary on this, we came up to the last point that you have to give up. The meaning is that you have to give up any I or my sense with the body and all the instrumentality, and you have to have some special intelligence, Dhiman. It's not only one who has brains, but one who has special intelligence by which he can transcend all these. And then this world of my relations, friends and all that, he transcends and he becomes immortal. Now there, these statements or these reasonings or whatever he has shown, Shankar wants to support that with other Vedic statements. That is the para. The next para we are going to read is not new arguments. What he has told up till now, he wants to support it by other Vedic passages. Because if it is true, so all Vedas will speak the same thing. That knowledge is correct when all the traditional Vedas will speak the same thing. That is why he shows how the other Vedas have talked about it. So we read that, na karmana, na prajaya dhanena, tyagena eke amrutatva manashuhu. Is from Kaivalya Upanishad. Not a very famous Upanishad, but important minor Upanishad. So it tells us, not by work, not by progeny, but by tyaga alone, but by giving up alone. No, not alone, but by renunciation, eke. Eke means some rare people. Amrutatvam anashu got the immortality. Now, we have to understand each word. Na karmana. So, already we discussed a long time that by doing something we'll get something. This was not there. By this method, one never attains immortality. Na praja. If we have a son, then we are happy for this life at least. So, karmana pitruloka. And prajaya manushaloka. So, these are not means of immortality. You are neither immortal in this man's body, nor are you immortal in any heaven whatsoever which you obtain by your karma. Then, tyaga, renunciation. Now, renunciation of what? Generally, people think if they have given up their homes, perform Virja Homa, become sannyasis, they will automatically realize God. That is not true at all. No. That cannot be called renunciation as per the context. And in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad it is clearly mentioned that sannyasis, if they lead a proper sannyasi life, they have a particular loka resort for them, not the absolute reality. So what is this tyaga? Basically, tyaga of I and mine. Nothing in the world, not even their bodies, indriyas, mind, buddhi, etc., all the instrumentality, when they are dissociated with that, when they have transcended every part of their personality. We read the Apyantam Mangani, full development of personality. Why it is needed? When the personality is fully developed, then one can give it up. That is the fun. Half-cooked people, it is very difficult for them to give up. But when the personality is fully developed, it can be given up. And that is the full development of the personality. And so, When I give up my I give up my, then only I realize my immortality. So a jiva becoming immortal, that statement is not true. When the jiva gives up his jivahood, then his real nature shines. That is immortal. The real nature never dies. The real nature is never in pain. The real nature has absolute unalloyed bliss always. So that is the support given by Kaivalya Upanishad to whatever Guru had told in the second mantra and whatever Shankar had argued for. Understood? Paranchi khani vyatrunat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhira pratyagatmanam aikshat avrutta chakshur amrutatvam icchan. This from Kathopanishad. Very important lesson. We glorify our indriyas and the indriya perceptions and the indriya enjoyment. But the Kathopanishad tells us that the self-willed Lord punctured our personality, our body, punched holes in our body, opening outside. That is the Indriya's description, that holes have been punched in our body or our personality, which open outside. You must be aware, if the punching machine is not very correct, it has become old, then it leaves marks like that opening outside, opening on one side. So, this is the state of affairs. And therefore, naturally, people go outside because the holes have been punched outside. So, it is very natural that people are engaged in the world outside. Their indriyas work, their mind through their indriyas, that also goes outside. So, and that is what they think it is real. They think it is real. They think it is enjoyable. That is the common man's life. But Kaschid Dhira, Dhira word is common. Some wise people. So, Shankar tells us the saw means see, rule their own inner reality by closing all their indriyas. Though it is mentioned that avrutta chakshuhu, the eyes were closed. But here the eyes represent the entire system of indriyas. Because if you only close the eyes and let all the other indriyas go outside, then we cannot realize Brahman, innermost reality. So here, eyes represent the entire instrumentality which has been described as holes punched into us. So that holes may go outside. We will not go outside. Why take so much trouble? Amrutatvam icchan. So these are the two things connecting with this topic. They want immortality. They don't want to die. They want unmixed, eternal, pure bliss. They don't want this life of pain and pleasure. And so, the same renunciation is this, that give up connection with the outside world. Outside means anything. One's own body is also outside. One's indriyas are outside. So giving up that, go inside, and such inside that my or I will no longer remain. That is the real inside. So long as I or my remain, immortality is not there, because I and my are both destructible. So, in this way they reach Pratyagatmanam Aikshat. They directly, Aikshat means saw, but seeing is associated with direct vision. And so the reference is that they realized their own real nature, turning away from the natural course of life, which due to the will of the supremely willing God, they come away from that. So this is again a very big support, almost identical language. The difference is that they seek immortality, they go inside. But Shrotrasya Shrotram was more beautiful, was more filled with devotion, was more filled with love for the innermost reality, love for God, and that is why that was supreme. But to support that, these are very valid statements from the Kaivalya Upanishad and from the Kathopanishad. Then Kathopanishad again, Yada sarve pramuchante kama yesya ridishrita atra brahm. Dots are there, that means the full mantra, atra brahma samashnute. So here what is the common point? Kamana. Desires. Desires reside in the mind. So giving up all desires is possible when we give up the mind and go inside. And so when pramuchante kama, yes, ridishrita, heart is the center of the mind. Remember, why heart is mentioned? We have seen that. Mind center is heart. And from there, as waves, it goes either in the mind or through indriyas outside. So, the center of the mind, there all desires reside in that mind. In that center of the mind, all the desires are there. Meaning, the desires are not in our real nature. They are not in Atman. They are only in the heart, which is one of the instruments. So, when the mind is tranquil, when the mind is collected, it goes in its root, that is the heart. So in that heart, desires live. But all those desires, when the sadhak gives up, pramuchante, when he leaves them, when the desires leave him, those desires which are residing in the heart, all of them leave him. Whether he leaves them or they leave him. Then here itself, he experiences, realizes Brahman, the all-pervading reality which is his own nature. So, these are the Ityadi Shrutibhya. Ityadi means like this, several Veda Vakyas we will get from all the Vedas to support what has been told in the second mantra and argued by Shankaracharya, told by the Guru, that you will get immortality when you transcend all these. Athava. Now, there is a little different meaning also. What is that? Atimuchya iti anena eva yeshana tyagasya siddhatvat अस्मात् लोकात् प्रत्य अस्मात् शरीरादपेत्य मृत्वा इत्यर्था. Now in the main mantra there was Atimuchya, and Atimuchya was explained as coming out of this indriya, coming out of this instrumentality. But it can also mean Atimuchya means all the desires are gone. Eshana Tyag. Atimuchya itself means he has come out of desires. Then Then what is Pretya? Pretya means fully gone away. So, if Atimuchya is Indriyas, then Pretya means full personality has been transcended. But if Atimuchya itself means personality has been transcended, then Pretya means after death. Praitya, having fully gone away from the body. Now, inner consciousness has become free there itself, but he has some association with the body. So long as we see his body functioning, unless some element of that consciousness is attached to that body, body could not have functioned. Body functions due to the momentum given for this life. So this life is not yet over, and so, but for that, I has to be some association with the body. And when that some association is there, what we know as prarabdha, we have discussed all that in the preface itself by Shankaracharya. So this prarabdha works on the body, and the body continues. And when that body falls, then you do not take another body. So this is the technical terms used are mukti, jivan mukti, videha mukti. Jivan mukti now itself, and after the body drops, you do not come again. So some people take mukti. Dekho, by death itself, nothing is going to happen. When you have earned mukti now itself, then that is proved when you give up the body. So this prarabdha works only on the body. The sadhak does not undertake that prarabdha. If he wills, he can drop that prarabdha that time itself. So there is only an or. Shankar in his Vivek Chudamani has proved conclusively that if you have full knowledge, then prarabdha does not work. Also it can mean the jnananistha, one who has experienced his identity with the Supreme Reality, but it has yet to fructify fully. That is called jnananistha. So in the case of a jnananistha, this statement may mean that when the fulfillment comes, then no more body. So Shankara has given that alternative meaning. So we understand that it applies both to the jnananistha and full jnani. If he has become jnananistha by the treatment given by the Guru, it seems so, because later on we will see that if he has got the glimpse of his reality, if he has experienced his reality, but that experiencer I is still little left there. If that experiencer I is little left there, though he has experienced the identity, then the prarabdha or the momentum can work, has a scope to work, and then this becomes the true result. When the body is not there, he is free. He is already free. Vimuktasya vimuchyate. When he is already free, he becomes apparently fully free now. So that can be an alternative meaning if we take the meaning of Atimuchya itself, meaning has transcended all the instrumentality, then Pretya will mean after he gives up the body. So that is the second meaning given by Shankaracharya here to the word Pretya and Atimuchya. Atimuchya can have two meanings. Atimuchya means transcending the instrumentality. Atimuchya means transcending everything. So if Atimuchya is transcending the instrumentality, Pretya means he comes out of this loka. If Atimuchya itself means desires are gone, then Pritya means after the body falls, he is Mukta. So these are the alternative meanings. Now, we come to the third mantra. Now in the second mantra, the final result is given. Atimuchya dhira pratyasmat lokad amrita bhavanti. And yet, some additional thing the Guru wants to tell. You may say in confirmation with what he has told, or some new point he has to tell here. Because all this should not end in intellectual understanding. All this should not end in intellectual conviction. All this should not end as a gathering of some information. Therefore, next mantra is necessary, where we are told that it is only when man of experience explains. This does not go, does not do, means further real attempt is to be made. Let us read that, then we understand. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no mano, na vidmo, na vijanimo, yatha etad anushishyad. We may put commas and semicolons and full stops to understand better. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no mano. Up to this one sentence. Na vidmo is another sentence. Then na vijanimo yatha etad anushishyad. Up to this one sentence. Na vidmo, na vijanimo yatha etad anushishyad. Then anyadeva tad viditat atho aviditat adhi. Up to this, everything is in quotation mark. Iti Shushruma Purvesham Ye Nastad Vyachachakshire is the final statement. If we take that final statement first, Purvesham, our previous people, means Guru. Our previous people means those who had realized Brahman before us. Our previous people means almost like our forefathers. Our Guru Parampara, our traditional, our chain of Gurus, they. Who are they? Ye naha tad vyachachakshire. Na means to us. Tad means Brahman. Vyachachakshire means clearly explained. Clearly made us realize. That is the actual meaning of Vyachachakshire. Vyachachakshire, those who clearly told us the nature of Brahman, clearly made us realize the nature of Brahman, they told in this very way. Now what way? The eyes do not reach there. He is the eye of the eye. Eye has the capacity to reveal objects. Eye cannot see eye itself. Eye cannot see itself. When we see a reflection in the mirror, we understand eye is like this, but we are not seeing the eye. We are seeing only the reflection of the eye. What to speak of the reality? The reality is ourself. Eye is only for revealing some objects. Eye cannot reveal itself, the instrument. Then how I can go to my own reality? That is not for what I is meant. So the lesson here is that totally, that atimuchya, totally give up any use of that I. Avrutta chakshu. Close your instrumental personality and turn You are not only your instrument, they are your instruments. So your eye consciousness, go to look for its own source, its own reality, its own real nature. That means opposite direction of the instrumentality, it has to go inside. So that thing is being confirmed in this way, no use of the eye. Eye does not reach there, eyes cannot reach there. No, navagachati. Unless you experience something or make an idea of something, how are you going to describe it to others? So this Vani is meant for explaining what we are experiencing. So the other meaning is that Vani is the representative of all karmendriyas. So karmendriyas are meant to go outside. No karmendriya can reach God. Neither you can hold it by hand nor go up to that by legs, etc. So this Vani is the representative of all karmendriyas. It does not go there. It is not an object where Vani or any karmendriyas can reach. Then, no mano. The question is asked several times. Mind makes an attempt to think of God, to feel God, to have resolution about God. That does not reveal God to us. At the most, when the mind totally dedicates itself to God, then we get the capacity to drop that mind. That is the fun. When the mind goes on contemplating on God, feeling God, thinking of God, then mind becomes pure. And in this pure mind, we can come out and go to God. So this present mind, this impure mind, the mind which thinks always of duality, cannot reach God. So this is all in further confirmation of pushing him inside. Go inside, still inside more than the mind. Okay? This is one sentence. Na vidmo. That means we, the teachers who taught us, told in this way. Or this teacher himself is telling the disciple. This teacher is telling his disciple, I do not know. What you are talking about, sir? You have taught me just now. I do not know Brahman is like this or like this. You had asked me like that. Which is that Chetan Prani? I do not know the consciousness as this is the consciousness. I cannot remain separate to describe that consciousness. So very important statement. Na vidmo. Plural is used for all the gurus that we do not know. What we do not know? How Brahman is. We do not know Brahman is like this, like this. We know Brahman as our reality. There how can we say we know? So, in a way, it is a refutation of so-called Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi is not the final statement. There, I know, I am Brahman. No. So, it is beyond the I consciousness. Na vidmo. Brahman is not an object before the I consciousness. So, we do not know. When our eyes do not reach, Vani does not reach, mind does not reach, then I consciousness also does not reach. I consciousness has to drop itself, be negated, then it becomes illumined that this I consciousness is nothing but a reflection of that. So, we do not know is a strong statement. They are not afraid to make that statement. Oh, you do not know. We do not know that Brahman is like this, like this. Then how can we describe to you? Na vijanimo yatha etad anushishyat. Anushishyat. That means we experience and we communicate to you. We do not know how to communicate to you. We do not know Brahman is like this, like this. Then we cannot communicate to you that Brahman is like this, though it was asked like that. Which is that reality? So we cannot describe that reality to you. So these are strong confirmations of what has been told up till now. No object. Then this is I, we. Now, from the point of view of reality, Annadeva tad viditat. Viditat means which is known. What it should include? Anybody, anywhere knows or may know. Object. It is very different from any object. Any object. That means today our knowledge may be limited. That is not the meaning of we do not know and we know. The meaning is that it is very different from all the objects known by anybody, anywhere, can be known, would be known. From all that, it is very different because it is not an object. Then, is it unknown? Unknown like what? When we go to deep sleep, what we know? Nothing. So that nothing, we have discussed quite a bit of it, that indiscrete nature, that avyakta prakriti, that is something nobody can know. Because when one tries to know that, the I gets stuck up. I gets lapsed. I gets collided with that. And so it cannot say, I know my indiscrete nature. No. So, that is called aviditad. And aviditad, he does not say, we do not know, or it is different from, but it is something more than the aviditad. Because the prakriti, the indiscrete matter, indiscrete expression of the reality is taken to be beyond everything which is expressed. All this express world, when it gets destroyed, it goes back to its unexpressed state. It goes back to that indiscriminate reality. So, from that indiscriminate reality, again it becomes born. So, like the seed and the sprout. This world is a sprout. There is a seed. So, it is different from the seed. Means in the transcendent reality, there is no seed of being reborn. That is the meaning. Avidita Adi means in the real nature of the reality, there is no seed of being born again. There is no seed of subject-object world again. So that is the very subtle statement. Annadeva tad viditat avidita adi. It is very different from the known objects. Very different means we have already discussed many times. Different in characteristics. Not that all the objects are here and is different somewhere. No. Then it will not be Advaita. So it is different in characteristics than all the known objects, and it is superior to. Adi means superior to. The unknown, indiscrete akasha, indiscrete prana, indiscrete reality, it is more than that. Transcendent over that, superior to that. That is how they taught us, they who made us clear about everything. So that is the only way to tell. Important point here is that by tarka you cannot approach that. By traditional knowledge only you can approach that. Tattvamasi, the Rishi Vakya, is the only way to reach the reality. When the Rishi says something, it becomes engraved on the heart directly. When the Rishi says something and you listen to it properly, it becomes engraved on your heart. That means you experience. That removes all your desires. You go beyond desires. You go beyond pleasure and pain. You go to your own real nature when the Rishi tells you and you receive it properly. That is what is happening in the mantra 1 and 2. That the disciple is very fit and the Guru is telling him, and so it will be received in his heart and he will realize it. Others may not. Those who are not so pure may not. But the fit Shishya will realize it. And so, that is the way of teaching. The way of teaching is that we do not know, that we cannot tell you. Means, there are two meanings of this. That it is beyond description, etc. we have seen. But we have to make a special effort to know. This ordinary Indriya knowledge, the ordinary tarka is not enough. We have to make, both Guru and Shishya have to make some special effort. And that is Guru telling out of his experience, Guru telling out of his experience from which he has received from the previous people, and he, in the Kathopanishad it is said, Ananya Prokte Gatiratra Nasti. So, when the teacher tells in an identical way, I am with the reality, you are not different from the reality, you are not different from me, when in this way it is communicated, then it goes in the heart and he realizes. So, this is additional point that it has to be communicated by a man who knows it through a traditional parampara, a line, a sequence, and because they talk after realization. So when they talk after realization in the fit person's mind, heart, then he realizes it. He in turn communicates it. And that communication, when it reaches the fit heart, that person also realizes. So this is the further confirmation of what was told in the second mantra. Shankaracharya says, Yasmat Shrotraderaphi Shrotradi Atmabhutam Brahmatam. That which is ear of the ear, that which is the self of the self, that Brahman, because it is like that, therefore, na tatra tasmin brahmani, tatra means tasmin brahmani. Chakshu gacchati swatmani gamana asambhavat. In its own reality it cannot go. Therefore it does not go there. It can see outside. It cannot see itself. It cannot see its reality. So to go to one's own reality is impossible. Therefore the eyes do not go there. That means stop the function of the eye. Let not eye function which takes you outside. Tatha na vak gacchati. Also the Vani, the describing instrument, does not go there. Vacha hi shabda uchchare mano abhideyam prakashayati yada. So Vani speaks some word. Abhideya, Abhidan are the technical words, name and that which is named. Abhidan is the name, Abhideya is that which is named. So that which is named is revealed when Vani speaks some word. When Vani speaks some word, then that which is named becomes revealed. The reality becomes revealed. Tada videyam prati vak gacchati iti uchyate. If this happens, then we will say that Vani reaches there. The meaning of Vani reaching there is not that Vani goes somewhere. But if the Vani, after pronouncing some words, makes you understand, makes you realize that, then we'll say that the Vani has reached there. So, Vani does not reach there. The inner meaning, Shankar explains in this way, that Vani reveals us something when it speaks words. If that happens, then we'll say Vani reaches that thing. But tasya cha shabdasya tannivartakasya cha karanasya atma nirvartakasya karanasya atma brahma. That word which describes and that power of the Vani to utter that word, both of them, that Indriya itself is, its reality is Brahma. So it cannot reach there. It cannot reveal by using some word. If it reveals something by using the word, we'll say Vani reaches there. But it cannot describe its own reality, and so Vani does not reach there. Ato na vak gacchati. Example, in the outside world, fire is there. And yatha agnir dahaka prakashakasyapi san nai atmanam prakashayati dahati va tadvat. Fire has the capacity to light and heat, burn. Now, can fire burn itself? Fire burns some wood or something burnable. Fire lights something which can be lighted. How can fire light itself? How can fire burn itself? So, in that way, the Vani does not go to itself, or any instrument does not go to its own real nature. So, this is the example given. No mana. Manasya anyasya sankalpaitru adhyavasaitru cha sat. Mind includes buddhi. So mind thinks of and decides upon something other than the mind. Na atmanam. Atmanam will have two meanings here. Itself or its real nature. So it cannot think of, it cannot decide upon itself or its real nature. Sankalpa, sankalpayati adhyavasyati cha. Cannot think of, cannot decide. Tasyapi brahmatma iti. Because it is Brahman is itself also. Brahman is the reality of all our instrumentality. So it is being described, meaning is same. You have contemplated by the mind. Mind has become pure. Mind cannot reach it, so you can reach it. Your real nature is Brahman, and there itself you will realize it. That itself will make you realize it, not your mind. So you attempt by the mind. It gets filled up. Then don't use the mind. In meditation, mind is present up to some stage. When one goes deep into samadhi, mind is left behind. You are identified with God. And so, the mind does not reach there. Indriya manobhyami vastuno vijnanam. Our normal knowledge, experiential knowledge of any object is through mind and organs. Tad agocharatvat. Tad indriya and mind have no go there. What is that word? Gochara. Gochara means the cow grazes. Cow has a reach there. So this is applied to Karana Gochar, Indriya Gochar. That means like the cow going there, Indriyas reach there, mind reaches there. In that way this word Gochar is used. Tad agocharatvat. There are no entry there. Na vidmaha tad brahma idrishamiti. So, the experience, direct knowledge of anything is through mind and indriyas. They do not reach there, so we do not know how it is. What we do not know? Brahma idrisham iti. That Brahman is like this. Eyes could have told, mind could have told, but it does not reach there, so we do not know connection. We do not know how the Brahman is. We do not know any objective description of Brahman. Ato, and therefore, na vijanimo. We do not know yatha yena prakarena, in what way etad Brahma anushishyat upadishet shishyaya iti abhipraya. So the meaning is that how we can communicate this to shishyas when we do not know. When we do not know Brahman is such and such, how do we communicate with shishyas that Brahman is such and such? Yadi karanagocharam tad annasmay upadeshtum shakyam. That which is available to our instruments, that can be described to others also. Jati guna kriya visheshanaihi. Jati guna kriya visheshanaihi. We have seen this in the preface and all that, through its species, through its qualities, through its actions, through its special descriptions. Guna means special, Visheshana means quality. We shall see a little difference between these two. Jati, na tad jatyadi visheshana vad brahma. Jatyadi visheshana vad brahma. That means, we have seen this, no? We cannot say it is a cow. We cannot say this particular cow. We cannot say he is a cook. We cannot say he is tall or long. So, this being ruled out, so we cannot describe to the disciples he is like what? Shishya anupadeshena Pratyayitumiti upadeshe tad artha grahane cha yatnatishay kartavyatam darshayati Shankar says this is not telling about the impossibility. This is not telling about the impossibility. It is telling that both the Guru and the Shishya have to make some special effort to communicate. And that special effort is transcendence. The Guru has to make a special effort to transcendentally communicate, and the Shishya has to make a special effort in transcendentally receiving it, going beyond instrumentality, going beyond eye consciousness. The teacher has to describe and the Shishya has to receive. That is the implication, not that it is impossible. न विद्मो न विजानीमो यथा तदनुशिष्यातिथि अत्यंतम एव उपदेश प्रकार प्रत्याख्याने प्राप्ते तद अपवादो अयम उच्यते. So here itself that special effort is being described. Because we do not know and we cannot communicate, will apparently imply that we cannot talk, we cannot describe. But that is not the meaning. The meaning is that tad apavado ayam uchyate. There is some special method. This might have been talked in a general way that we cannot know, we cannot describe. It does not mean we do not know, we cannot describe. It means special effort to be made, and that special effort is being told as this is the exception about do not know and cannot explain. What is that? Apavada? Satyamevam pratyakshadevi pramaneir na para pratyayitum shakya. If we know by indriyas, direct, if we know by guesswork, if we know by any other means of knowledge, if we know it is like that, if we know it's abhav, if we know by somebody teaching, no. Then agamena tu shakyata eva. But it is possible to tell it through tradition. Tradition does not mean nonsense. Tradition of the knowers of Brahman. Shakyeva pratyayitum iti. Pratyayitum. Experience can be communicated through the line of Gurus. That is the exception, that we cannot tell you and we cannot. There is an exception that through line of teachers it can be communicated. Tad upadeshartham agamamaha. So, to tell about that is bringing a tradition. Anyadeva tad vidita datho avidita daditi. So, we'll take it up on next Wednesday. Beautiful. Third mantra, supporting second mantra. Not, does not mean not. Not means a special effort to be made, and that special effort is to the tradition of knowers, and that is being described now. We have seen it in the text. We have to see it through Shankar Bhashya next Wednesday. Om Om apyayantu mamangani vak pranas chakshu shrotramato balam indriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot anirakaranam astu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharma te mahi santu om शांति 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 हरि ओम तत्सत श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.